Hi guys, doing a quick review for Top Boy, the best show of the year, in my opinion. I mean, definitely one of the best shows I've seen in a long time, with Arcane being number one, but this is still a really good show. So this is my spoiler review. So I'm just gonna go straight into spoilers, just to make this review fast, and just what I think about everything that happened. Because basically, Deshane kind of gets an opportunity to expand the money that he can make by basically doing something with the summer house, but it'll kind of affect the people who live there, including his mum and his girlfriend. So the mum kind of has a problem with that, especially when she finds out that he's selling drugs and all that, and she kind of confronts him because of that. And he kind of says that the things that he's doing is trying to benefit people instead of what they normally do, and just spend it on ridiculous stuff like cars, chains, whatever. Something that doesn't really help out anyone, because I guess if he renovates the summer house or whatever his plan was, obviously it would get him more money, but I guess it would kind of make summer house a better place. Think of like Compton, with how that place used to be, and then they kind of renovated it, and I guess mainly just rich people live there now. I think that's what would happen to summer house. But if you've watched the season, you know that he decides not to do it because his mum kind of dies because she wasn't feeling well. So he just feels bad about what he was doing, and his mum's death just stopped him from doing it, basically. And it's also, he's got other problems that he needs to deal with like this cartel storyline, yeah, which probably is the best thing about this season. Yeah, the cartel storyline, and how he sends, like, I guess, Jamie after he gets out of prison, because Jamie's people after season one, they kind of feel weird to be working with Duchesne now, since that's how things are going. And then there's this other storyline with Jamie's boy, who kind of, because for the whole season, Ats basically was murdered, and we're trying to find out who killed Ats. And Steph, I don't even know what he was thinking the whole time. I know he felt bad about it because it was his best friend, basically. And he eventually kind of finds these new people to hang out with, which this crazy girl, and just how she has like this messed up life, wrecking that teacher's car, just all those things that were going on, just that storyline. And I don't know if to sign up like a new relationship that's gonna help, I guess, Steph with what happens at the end, which I'll get to. But I just don't want it to be too long. And then there's the Liverpool stuff, or that storyline with Jackie's sister. Like, she gets into more trouble after what she did in the last season, with snitching on Sully with her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend tried to kill Sully and all that. Sully wanted her dead, but Deshane gets her out from Jackie wanting that to happen, because she didn't want her sister to die, basically. Yeah. And now she's kind of made more trouble with like her boyfriend in Liverpool, with the way how she's getting treated, and she's kind of having a baby with this person. And she basically tries to run away. She goes in like a mall where she wants to buy more clothes. Then she uses that to escape, and goes in a taxi. She nearly gets caught, but luckily the taxi driver helps her escape. And then she goes all the way back to London and makes more problems, because obviously her boyfriend from Liverpool, who's like a big gangster, kind of goes there and makes trouble for Deshane, thinking like this is going to be a small problem, but he actually steals his drugs and burns it and all that. And then also shoots up his girlfriend's nail polish place, which I guess his girlfriend also has a storyline with. I guess she's not like really the perfect girl that we thought she was. Like in season one, like with the way how she doesn't want to be tied to anyone who's doing illegal stuff, but then by the time we get to season two, she's been doing illegal stuff in her past, and it comes back to bite her in the ass with this woman who was just randomly in scenes. Like, we didn't know who she was, like getting free treatment and all that, and then owing money to this person, and it wasn't really giving us much details. And to this person who, I guess, Sully warned, like basically like Sully killed her husband in the last season, and he felt bad for that, so he wanted to help this person get a job, even though he's trying to do it in a way where she doesn't know it was him, because she doesn't want anything from Sully with what he did by killing her husband. And she ends up working with Dushane's girlfriend, because she kind of owns the place. And then she kind of tells her the things that was going on with this person who's asking for money. So I guess she kind of helps out, because we see these two twins who kind of get rid of evidence, I guess. because she needs to get rid of her body because she witnessed something that happened and she's trying to cover it up because her fingerprints were all over it because something happened where someone died. She's trying to keep it a secret for the whole season, or all this time, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about Sully now. So yeah, Sully's storyline. Basically, his nephew is in trouble, and he has to help her out because she kind of makes some big problem for herself for what she was trying to do with her boyfriend. And I can't remember what happens with the boyfriend again, but basically, Sully goes down to sort it out. These guys try to, jump Sully because they're not agreeing with what he's saying, that they're not going to leave his nephew alone, which I kind of recognize her from, I guess, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I guess you could say the main villain, who's a part of that terrorist group, the Flag Smashers, basically that girl, yeah. Yeah, let's just say she makes some problems for Sully in this season. Man, there's like so many things going on in this season. And when Sully gets kidnapped, because she basically snitched on him, like Sully tried to sort it out, but then things got really bad that she got found, and then she snitched on Sully. Then they kidnapped Sully, and then there's this video that gets filmed that goes viral, and everyone just finds out about it, and then that's when Duchesne gets involved and tries to help out. And this is before the Liverpool situation as well, before they come down and everything, because that was like near the end of the season. And then he's also dealing with the cartel situation, which I'll get to after I finish, what I'm talking about with Sully. Because they basically try to find where Sully is, like Jackie on all of them, all the crew. Because they basically just filmed him getting beat up. And the guy who's in charge is just like, why the hell would you do that? Because they're all going to know what happened. And they eventually do find him in this place. They basically go in shooting and they basically rescue Sully. And as for the nephew, man, he just doesn't want anything to do with it afterwards anyway. Yeah, because she kind of got him in that situation, so yeah. I mean, she does try to make up for it at the end by bringing like Sully's daughter, right? Yeah, because Sully didn't want to go and knew his daughter because of the way how things are with his life. He just feels like it's messed up. There's also this weird woman, who wants to know everything about Sully, who has that bow. Like, she was kind of a weird character. She screams like cop, especially after we found out, those two junkies were actually cops, and they've been trying to bring down Duchesne and his whole empire. Yeah. So I'm just obviously gonna think like this person's a cop because of the way how they're talking. They just want to know every single detail with what Sully's doing, and Sully's not getting suspicious about that. But she eventually moves on anyway. She leaves. Yeah. She tries to bring Sully with her, but he doesn't want to go because he's got stuff to sort out here. Yeah, and he can't really live a normal life anyway. Because I guess this is all he's got. But back to the cartel stuff, like the best stuff of the season. So basically, a guy who they're working with kind of gets betrayed because that white woman from the previous season's also there. They're trying to make a deal. It kind of goes wrong because one of the people get killed. So this guy's gonna want revenge later on because also his wife's sick. But so I guess Duchesne decides to send Jamie to sort out the situation of what happened and to make sure the deal still goes smoothly between each other. And I guess he does see all these kids. One of them actually asks him for money to take him to Spain to see his sister. I guess Jamie kind of feels sorry for him because he has family as well. Like he's trying to look after his, so he kind of understands that. Like he wants to reunite with his sister, so he decides to give the kid a watch because that was really the only thing he could do. And I guess it kind of works out at the end. And then as for the business stuff, well, basically there's like a rat inside who keeps, exposing when they're gonna have a shipment, and the cops keep coming because they just know exactly when they're gonna have a shipment. So that shows that there was a snitch there. So basically they meet one of the people who we thought was the boss, but he wasn't actually the real boss. It was actually the person who brought Jamie to the place, who was the actual boss, the older one. Because I guess the other person who knew the guy's father, who's actually in charge. Like the guy who's in charge now, he knew the person's father, and we thought he was the boss, but he wasn't. And also he has like this guy who you could say is like how Jamie has his own best man, who's also kind of made problems in this season, and responsible for actually Axe's death because let's just say things happened with Steph, was it? And that's why I decided to kill him because of the way how Axe was treating Steph and how he messed him up. And I don't know if that's the way how he is now, let alone the brother not being there for him, because he did have his other brother, but he's been trying to just focus on his education. Yeah. So basically, his own boy kind of betrays him, and I'm talking about the guy who Jeremy thought was the boss. He actually betrays him. They find out that he's the snitch, so he has to kill him, and he didn't even think about it because he's known this guy for like his whole life, and then he just like killed him just like that. So that kind of foreshadowed like a hard choice that Jimmy would have to make. Otherwise, his family would be in danger. Yeah. Because later on, he has to, because Duchesne says he has to kill his boy, who basically killed Axe. And if he doesn't, then, they're going to have a problem. So the first thing that Duchesne decides to do when he gets back, because I guess before he gets back, he kind of makes a deal with the guy who kind of betrayed one of the cartel people. The guy who lost his wife, because he kind of tried to kill him. But then, they kind of send Sully to, take him out. Because basically Gemma was making a deal with that guy. And because they did get to an agreement where I guess they'll take 25%, but, that's kind of a bit too much. So that's probably why Duchesne sends Sully to take him out. So things can go more smoother for him. But then that guy also kind of reveals that he was kind of making a deal with Jamie. And that kind of puts Jamie in danger afterwards, so they're not even sure to trust him. So that's when he probably has to kill his boy, which, is kind of sad, I guess. Especially my mum found it sad, yeah. Thinking that's the only way to, resolve the problem, because his boy was thinking like he's just going to get him out of the situation, just move him to somewhere else, but he actually, had to kill him, and that's what he decides to do, which sucks, because I guess I did like his character, and I kind of wish he got more scenes, but oh well. And then after that, you'd think that Jimmy would be completely safe, like it's all over. But no, they still killed Jamie, which I was shocked they actually killed Jamie. Like, because at the end, it seems like everything's worked out. The family's back together again because they haven't really been that together this season. Because Jamie was in jail. Like, there was lots of problems that happened when they got arrested and stuff. Like the one of the older brothers, like when he got arrested, but then Jimmy took the fall for it and all that, because it was actually him, and then he wasn't really there to help them out, and Steph got into some stuff where he's not really in school right now and all that, and the other brother's just trying to sort out his life because it seems like he actually has a future, and then when he sorts out his life, he can still help Steph. So things were kind of a mess. So when we finally see them together again, like, it was nice, even though it was kind of short lived because Jamie dies, which I was so shocked that they killed Jamie. Like, wow, at the end, like, Sully kills Jamie because he didn't trust him, because when he realized he was kind of making a deal with one of the cartel people who was basically taking advantage of them, you know, he couldn't really trust Jamie at that point. Sully, he couldn't trust him. After all the things that have happened, he can't even trust his own family, so it makes sense that he'd make this choice. So yeah, he decides to shoot Jamie. He shoots him in the chest and then in the head, so to me, he's dead, but some people out there think he's still alive, which I'd be shocked if he is. And I just feel sorry for the brothers, man. But it's kind of his fault for making those, choices and stuff. Going in this life, because this is the reality, this is what would happen. So yeah, you can't feel fully sorry for him, but I just feel sorry for his brothers, really. And I just know that Steph's probably going to want to get revenge. Yeah. Not really sure what the other brother. I'm not really sure what the other brother's going to do now, but yeah. Because they've been through so much. Because there is that scene where, they're sitting on that bench where they talk to their father who they lost. And that, they'll be there next year, but, that's not going to be the case now. It's just going to be the two of those brothers now. And we'll see what happens with them. It's kind of obvious with one of them, but yeah. And yeah, I don't know if I missed any other story stuff that was going on. Because I already said about the summer house, not the deal not being done because Duchesne wanted to honour his mother and all that. I guess his girlfriend, she kind of sorts out things with that person who was, trying to get money out of her and scares her off. So yeah, a lot of things were resolved, but I guess next season, I'm guessing the sister's going to want war, because I don't think I told how that storyline ended, the Liverpool storyline, when they came back for, Jackie's sister, they basically tried to ambush him, the Liverpool people, but it actually didn't work because they knew what they was doing. But then, I guess Jackie's sister seems like she's betraying him, but she actually ends up killing Curtis, the Liverpool guy who was in charge. And I guess that's what takes care of that situation. Then the sister's just like, if you don't leave, well, Dushane's like, if you don't leave, you'll end up dead, dead next to the sister. And she kind of has to retreat because, their leader's killed. Like, what they're going to do. And she's probably going to want war in the next season, or we'll just see what happens after that. Yeah. And that's pretty much how it ends, really, with Dushane storyline. Things work out for him. Yeah. But he probably doesn't even know what happened to Jamie, so that's going to cause a problem. Yeah. Especially for the ones who was following Jamie, who had to start taking orders from Dushane. Like, they're going to be so confused. All these people who have died, Jamie and his best friend, like, they're not even sure what they're going to do, really. So, I'm intrigued to see what happens with Jamie's people, since Jamie and his best friend are dead by the end of this season. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it. I guess it kind of turned out to be a pretty long spoiler review. But yeah, I'll just end it here. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.